Hello and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Insurance Power Hour, where we talk about all things insurance. So tonight we are going to do overcoming objections. And as we know, objections, overcoming them starts at the beginning of the call. Simple things like asking, what's got us calling today? If someone says, my premium is too high, my agent doesn't answer their phone, they don't respond to me, these kinds of things will help you at the end of the call to be able to overcome some of these objections. So we're going to go ahead and spin it. I'm healthy. I'll get life insurance later.
So what I would say is you're not, yeah, you may be healthy, but what if something were to happen tomorrow and you come down with a diagnosis that can't be insured?
As we learned a couple of weeks ago, thank you, Gold Star for CJ. As we learned from Linda Strong a couple of weeks ago, we are only one diagnosis away from being ineligible. It is more than just your premiums will never be less than they are today, right? Fruit only spoils once it's off the branch. It doesn't get fresher. Life insurance is the same way. We are only going to get older. There is only more risk that could happen to us driving, tripping over a rock. We are one diagnosis away from actually becoming ineligible, not just a rate increase. Okay, I think I can get a better deal elsewhere. I don't know about you.
Understand that you can get a better deal. I actually had this today. Yeah, you can get a better deal elsewhere. But in terms of the deal, what are we looking at? Is it, do you want cheaper insurance? What are your deductibles? When I go into that, I go into the coverages.
You're right. You might be able to get a better deal elsewhere, but is it the right coverage? Where are deductibles set? What company are we with? I know all companies, insurance is highly regulated. They're all supposed to do what they say they're going to do. But when someone says, I can get a better deal elsewhere, my question is, what kind of deal are we talking about? So to CJ's point, are they competitive coverages? So quite often I like to ask for that declaration page whenever I can get it. I might say something like, even if you could get a better deal elsewhere, you wouldn't get me.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to be your agent. I've been with my company for 20 years. Well, then why are you calling me? That would be my question. If someone has been with their company for 20 years and they have never had an insurance review, right now, this very second is the perfect time just to do a comparison. When people call into our agent's office, I let them know this is a no pressure zone. This is a no pressure situation. If in the case we find that you are in the right space, we're an honest agency. We're just going to say it how it is. On the other hand, if we see that there are better options for you, we're going to offer that to you and let you know where those are. So if someone has been with their carrier for a very long time, they're a little reluctant to switch. This is where I would just say, thank you for trusting me to review your insurances. Thank you for thinking of me. Oh no, it's our favorite. And as you noticed, I put a gold star in this one. This is the number one objection across the board in sales seats. I need to talk with my spouse. How would we answer this question?
Well, we just simply ask them if they can get the spouse on right now with them.
Yes.
Do a three-way call.
How would you say that? How would you communicate that?
All right, I understand. This kind of thing I can understand what we want to discuss. How about this? How about we try getting your spouse on the line with us so all three of us can discuss it together and figure out if this is the right move for you going forward.
Perfect. Exactly. Any way that we can bring the spouse in. I have heard others, say things like, well, do you wear the pants in the family? Are you the decision maker? This sort of thing. Okay, well, one, we have to recognize and respect. If someone truly needs to speak with their spouse, perfect. I extend the invitation. Let's rope them into a phone call. Let's loop them into an email. but let's bring them in on this. If you just spent 45 minutes to an hour with a customer client policy holder, and then they want to get off the phone to go speak with their spouse, I suppose that's okay, because if you have the right policy, you have the right policy. So if you've been with me before, you know that insurance should not be the hard sell. It is not the last house on the street. It is not the last car on the block. Renewals come up at least every year. So we should not be the hard sell. But that I need to speak with my spouse. If we can have one or two good things to say after that, comebacks, if you will, it'll help us navigate this one. Oh no, I don't need life insurance because I'm single. My response on this one is understandable, and that's okay. You may not always be single, right? If there's a sibling and something were to happen, maybe you take in the kids. Now someone is dependent upon you. Or maybe you just spend all of your free time with volunteer organizations, and when you pass, maybe you want to bless them with a gift. So I don't need life insurance because I'm single. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. But if you have the right policy for them, if it only costs them a couple of cups of coffee a month, it might be something worth looking into. So respect their objection, right? It's the know, like, trust idea. Okay, the know, like, trust mindset. If you do not respect their objection, then you're not going to get a call back, even if you overcome it. So keep that in mind. Can you guarantee that my rate won't change?
That's pretty easy. It's basically, I always say, no, I cannot guarantee that your rate won't change. Insurance obviously is very highly regulated, and it's by the states. And I can't determine if you're going to get into an accident or get a ticket tomorrow.
Yeah, we can't guarantee where premiums are going to be. The companies can't even guarantee where the premiums are going to be next year. So here's what we can do. We can keep our eyes for discounts, programs, anything someone's eligible for. We can run reports in the background, see what kind of cross-sell may help. As an example, life insurance. If you write a life insurance policy, it may discount the auto insurance. So even though we cannot guarantee any sort of rates, and that means today, tomorrow, next week, we can be on their side to help them during the quoting process. Yeah. Or reshopping process for that matter. Here we go. Has anyone needed to reshop a policy yet?
We've had a few in my office, just because Allstate has, and this is with the super, super, super old product, and we've been trying to do the company transfer. Well, the company transfer will come in high, so we'll have to put them in National General.
Okay.
For the time being, and then they'll probably eventually come back into the Allstate product.
Okay. Is that for things like tickets or accidents?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, just move them over, get them somewhere else for a minute, and then move them back when you can.
Yeah.
Aw, can you just email me something and I'll look at it later? I don't know how y'all feel about this, but one, I am going to email you later. Absolutely, I'm going to email you later. But if that means someone's calling in and I haven't been able to get their date of birth or set up a profile for them, they won't even give me the 3 minutes that it takes. Well, then why would they be asking me to do all this work if they don't want to spend just a few minutes with me? So I like to get them on the phone. I want to create that profile. I let them know I'm going to collect information you may not want sent over via email. Some people don't care. Some people are, happy to send their bank account and routing number, but I like to be respectful when I'm asking for dates of birth and driver's license numbers. I like to have these conversations when I can. But once that profile is created, sure, John, go back to work. It's okay. Email me your declaration pages. I'll take it from here.
I get this a lot on the quoting side. Like, hey, can you just email it to me? Sometimes I get it if they're at work, but if we got 5-10 minutes, I was like, look, I'm going to email it to you. Let me know when you get it. Let's pull it up and let's go over everything together.
While they're on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yeah. Anytime you can. If you're quoting somebody out and you're going through the process, I mean, you can say, sure, I'll email this to you. Just call me back tomorrow. You can. But then where's the building rapport? Right? It's that know, like, trust. Yeah. Oh, I rent, so I don't need insurance.
So if your apartment catches on fire, I don't want you sleeping in your car.
Where are you going to stay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that particular coverage is the loss of use. I literally lost use of my dishwasher, my kitchen. I can't shower. I can't do laundry. So it's housing and accommodations for that loss of use. So I don't rent. Okay, you don't own the structure, but you do own what's inside. If you were to turn that upside down and shake it out, that's your contents, right?
And I look at it this way too. Renter's insurance is super cheap too.
Yeah. Renter's insurance traditionally $7 to $20. I mean, depending.
Mm-hmm.
What's another coverage on renter's insurance that a client might be interested in that you can think of?
Water sewer backup's a big one. That's something I always recommend.
On a renter's policy?
Yeah.
I was thinking liability.
Or liability as well. Yeah, the $300K liability.
I mean, they're all great coverages. My big one is liability. Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure, if someone, let's say their kid throws a baseball through a neighbor's window. Let's say somebody gets hurt. Let's say, what is the old one? The doggy bit me, right? So renter's insurance also has that liability. The base is $100,000, but yeah, usually the max on those three to five. There we go.
I recommend. I was like, I tell my clients, I'm like, look, I recommend 300 in this day and age. Anything less than 300K.
I only need state minimums. I think I get into this conversation every single day. Every single day. Somebody will call in. State minimums in Arizona are $2,550, meaning $25,000 in medical coverage for the person in front of them that they bumped, $50,000 if there are passengers in the car. Well, that's literally not enough. So when customers call in, I let them know I will honor your coverage and I will quote you at your coverage. But I am an insurance agent and I will do my due diligence to make sure you're covered properly. State minimums make our agency nervous. I will also quote you the next level up to you if that is of value. Those are the words I use, up to you if that is of value. But at least I've done my job making sure that I've offered the next level up. Sometimes it's like $17. Sometimes it's nothing. I would say the state minimum coverage, at least for me, is about 50-50, meaning 50% of the time, yeah, that's about right. 50% of the time, people are taking the higher coverage because I'm saving them anyway.
So what if you're driving on the road and you crash into another car, which also crashes into another car? It's not going to cover you.
Oh, I don't understand any of this insurance language.
I've gotten it. I'm like, so what can I clarify for you to make it make more sense?
With this one, I like to calm their nerves. Don't worry, John. We had to get licensed for this. Don't worry, John. They don't teach insurance outside of the industry. So I just agree with them on this one. If they say I don't understand, I understand that you don't understand. And that's why I'm here. If you're not already their agent, by communicating with them that there was a point in time where you didn't understand either. I don't trust giving my information over the phone. Now let's go back on what we were just talking about, email. How funny is that some people would prefer to take a picture of their driver's license and send that over via email?
I get it quite often at the buying process. I'm like, look, this is a secure line. If I write it down, it goes right in the shredder. So I never see your information ever again.
Well, and true to that, we have to be super careful with this information, right? We have to be careful where we put it. We can't just be putting credit card numbers on Post-it notes, you know. We can't be saving them into a spreadsheet for later. That's not okay. So I don't trust giving my information over the phone. It's a real thing. People really are nervous about that, and I get it. Sometimes people want to physically come into office. Many of us do work remote. But if your agency does have access where somebody can come in person, it might take a little more time. But think about the referrals you might get out of something like that too. So, okay.
And I usually, when they say, hey, I want to come into the office, I'm like, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass over the information to the person that'll help you out. And I will let them know that I sent you.
Perfect. Do you end up splitting commission at that point, or do you just give the lead?
I get the lead. They bind the coverage for me. So it's basically under my producer code.
My friend said, I don't need that coverage. We don't need water backup. We don't need service line. We don't need it.
So your friend said you didn't need it, but is your friend your licensed agent or advisor?
CJ. Exactly. I think you've taken every class we have. Oh my goodness. 100%. Is your friend an insurance agent too? That's literally the answer. Okay. Perfect.
What you get for being in the industry for so long too. They throw any questions. I feel like any question that comes at me, it's an objection that
Yeah, no, you've been paying attention. But you're also a top producer, so there's that. Oh, I don't need uninsured motorist.
It's required in the state of Virginia. It's on the policy. So.
Okay. So this is a state where this is not an objection.
Nope.
In the state of Arizona, it is optional. With a signature, you can opt out. If someone tells me I don't need uninsured or underinsured, this is off the cuff, but this is what I say. John, I honor and respect your wishes. However, 11% of the population in Arizona is driving around uninsured. If they hit you, it's a hit and run or any number of things, and you go to the hospital, that is your medical coverage. You are welcome to waive it, but our agency is going to ask for a signature. Underinsured means they did have enough coverage, or they did at least have state minimums. But as we just talked about, state minimums traditionally they're not cutting it. They're not cutting it. So again, up to you. I will honor your wishes. But uninsured, underinsured is, and then I will calculate the premium difference and let them know. If it's a cost factor, okay. But again, my job is not necessarily to make the sale, but to make sure what I am offering them is quality enough to cover them.
Now in Arizona, do they have the enhanced or the alternative? Because so back in 2023, the state of Virginia came out with the enhanced version, which is like the stacked version. The alternative is the pre-2023, and it saves them money. So I call it the pre-2023. It pays up to the limits, and then they have the stacked version. I always do the up to the limits because it saves them money. And I tell them, I was like, I'm going to try to find ways to save you money on your policy.
And I just had a one-on-one yesterday, and we were talking about the difference between stacked and unstacked. Arizona does not have that option. So back in 2023, I was licensed in 48 states. I do remember learning about those things, but it's not something Arizona offers. It is quite literally whatever your coverages are. Let's say it is state minimum, $2,550. Then you choose, let's say your liability is $5,100. And you decide uninsured, underinsured are going to be $2,550. Or you can have uninsured but not underinsured. It's a little bit different. We're the Wild West out here. Perfect. Oh no! You know what? CJ, thank you so much for spending that hour and a half with me. But it looks like I'm only going to save about $50. I guess I'll just wait until renewal.
Why wait until renewal when you are technically not locked into a contract? You get a prorated refund back to you, and with the mortgage, it's a flip of a switch.
Perfect. We'll even send the invoice. Oh, I don't want to switch and do all this work and then wake up tomorrow and regret it. I don't want to regret it.
Why regret it when we just spent the last 45 minutes going over every single coverage? And you even told me no one's explained this stuff in ways that I've explained it to you.
And I would say something similar. I would say, you know what, CJ, I don't want you to regret anything either. I really don't. But here's what I'm seeing. I am seeing that we are able to save you $50. I know it's not a ton, but at least maybe a new pair of sneakers, okay? We're able to save you a little bit, but here's what we did. We were able to reduce your deductibles. I was able to increase that liability for you, and you got to keep uninsured motorist. So I don't want you to regret not doing this. Right now, your deductibles are at $1,000. If a tree falls on your car overnight, you're going to pay $1,000. But the policy I'm looking at right now is $500. So I understand you don't want to regret, but I don't want you to regret it on the other side. And truly, I'd love to be your agent. And again, a lot of these are muscle memory and practicing. Oh no! Insurance is a scam. Where's Tina when we need her? Insurance is a scam.
I get this once in a while. I'm like, well, if insurance is a scam and you crash your car and you realize you have very little coverage, now is it a scam?
It has been quite some time since I've gotten this one, but I know because we play overcoming objections at least once a quarter, I know this is an objection that agents get a lot. And a lot of times it happens on the life insurance side. It's only a scam. Well, it's never a scam, but if you outlive your life insurance policy, wouldn't you be celebrating that you're still around? I would think so. And that would be a term just to be specific, right? If you outlive your term policy. Oh no, I got this one the other day. I found something cheaper online. Hey, you know what, Mary? I actually went online and, quoted myself out and company A came back at $144 a month. Why are you asking me for $220? Simple response, because I ran the reports. I ran our motor vehicle report. I ran our clue report, and I can see real numbers. When you go online, a couple of things happen. One, if you put in all your information online, that might have been a lead generator that ends up selling your information to other insurance agencies. Or it could have been a lead generator that sells it exclusively to one agency. That means you were purchased. Or if you went to the company directly and you put in all your information, you still need an agent to process. And it's not until they process that you get reports run. But with me, I don't give you numbers until reports are run. This is the safest way.
I got this one today, and he literally sent me his deck pages. He's like, "Can you tell me why yours is a little bit more than this one?" And I was like, The deductibles, both your comprehensive and collision deductibles, they're at $1,000, and there is not towing on that.
What was the rest of your sentence?
I was like, I gave you better coverage.
Exactly. When someone is shopping for themselves online, and this goes back to if we have to get licensed for these things. So if someone is shopping for themselves online, they don't know what coverages mean. Of course, they're going to spike their deductibles. Of course, they're going to lower their liability. Of course, they say, I don't need medical payments, right? So that's what I would have done. back in 2019, hands down. Oh, no. I don't want to buy. Not today. I'm just getting quotes. When someone says, I'm just getting quotes, the question in my mind immediately moves to, who shops insurance for fun? I still don't believe there's any such thing as I'm just getting quotes. I would like to take a weekend and call every agency locally just to get quotes. That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, if you're just getting quotes, then that tells me, hey, you're shopping around. What's going on at your agency that's causing you to shop?
Yeah, and that ties back into what's got us shopping today. Right? So if you knew that they were shopping because their premium went up or their agency won't call them back, then we already know they're not just shopping around. They are really looking to move. CJ, you've answered so many questions. I think you get the prize tonight. And I see this one. I want to do some shopping around. See, this is why we play live. We just keep getting better. Okay, why is the rebuild cost lower than my home value? So we did talk about this when we reviewed homeowners policies, your RCE, your replacement cost estimator. So why would a rebuild cost be lower than the value of the home? Well, if the whole house goes up in smoke, we need to rebuild it from the ground up. The land doesn't go anywhere, and the land has a certain amount of value in and of itself. So, a home out in the bush versus a home in the city, the land value is going to be very different. So lumber, nails, labor to rebuild that home, that's what they're calculating. How much are the countertops? How much are the windows? That could be lower, and I've seen it a lot. It could be lower than actually purchasing the home all put together. Now, the opposite is true. On occasion, rebuilding the house could actually cost more than just purchasing it. So that's why we run our estimators. We want to make sure we're trusting the systems. Remember, trust but verify. We're trusting the systems. We're trusting the replacement cost estimators, because if I'm quoting through Liberty Mutual and their systems told me this house costs $450 to rebuild, then I can at least go back and say, but it was your systems that told me that. I didn't make it up. So, CJ, do you have any insight on this one at all?
So I had this one today, and he was, his rebuild was a little bit lower than the one that I offered through Allstate, and it's all through that, like you said, the estimator. Of course, Allstate got a brand new home product, and it's only very few questions. And I've discovered when the rebuild cost could be also lower. It's the age of the roof I've seen has also had a huge factor.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Ooh-wee. Yeah, age of the roof. Holy bananas. You got to watch out for that too, because some carriers, they will say, okay, we will cover everything to full replacement cost, but not the roof. I caught that one the other day. They were like, oh, it's actual cash value. And I'm like, oh, I need to move on. That's not okay. All right. I don't need identity theft protection. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. But for the 50 cents or whatever it is, do you want to risk it? Identity theft is a real thing. It happens all the time. And I wouldn't say a life ender, but it's definitely no fun. Now, on the other hand, there are other ways people can get identity theft protection, LifeLock, that sort of thing. I don't know personally if I would want to file a claim like that on my homeowner's insurance. It's sort of like the personal articles policies. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a real nice Rolex and you can itemize those, but are you really wanting to file a claim for that? So that's a conversation.
With the identity theft, I really haven't seen that, but I've seen some things where you can actually, like within the Allstate app, yeah, they can apply for it, but I can't see it on my screens.
I don't want to give my social security number. When is the most likely time someone would have to give their social security number?
Life insurance.
Bingo. Life insurance. There are some systems that you can send them the medical information, the data collection via email. In those systems, in most cases, me and my caveats, they will be able to provide their own, put their social security number in themselves. So it, again, depends on our carriers. Gosh, you know what, CJ, you did a really good job. You quoted me out well. I really need to think about this.
While you got me here, I know you want to think about it. What questions do you have? What can I explain a little bit more for you to help with the decision?
Beautiful.
Do we need to three-way your spouse?
Beautiful. Yes. What is there to think about? Exactly. Ask more questions. What did we not understand? Yeah. So I've never filed a claim. I probably don't think that I need that coverage. And a good one would be water sewer backup. I know we brought it up a couple of times in this call. I've never filed a claim. I don't think I'll need water sewer backup. And regardless of which coverage this is, use examples and stories, right? So water sewer backup, I would use the story about my big brother who has 6 kids. He goes off on vacation. There was a leak in the basement, so on and so forth. Another good one would be that loss of use if they don't think they need a high limit on those. So if you don't have your own story, borrow one from a fellow agent. That's okay. But I can't imagine what would have happened if my brother did not have water sewer backup. That was a $100,000 claim. True story. And
I always hear.
Yeah.
I can do that. Like, yeah, if they mention they don't need that coverage, I'm like, well, here's a story. I had a policy holder. They went away for the weekend, didn't have the water sewer backup coverage, came home to about 2 feet of water in their basement. That's an expensive claim to pay out of pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. And without insurance, what would you do? You'd have to take a loan to get the repairs.
Mm-hmm.
Most people. And who's gonna loan money for that, right?
I've also found if they don't want something, I document it because they can come back and say, oh, he said that, and then it's in the notes, and they're like, but we told you.
100%. Actually, CJ, thank you for bringing that up. There was someone this week on Monday. We had to go back. We had to check calls, pull recordings, pull up emails, double check absolutely everything because this particular person said they had $0 glass deductible. They were certain of it. Well, I was out of office the day that policy was written. So there was an extra step there. We had to pull the call where it was bound. And I listened to the call. And sure enough, my counterpart said, you have $1,000 deductibles. We waived roadside car rental and 0 glass. And she said yes. So when I called her back, here's the thing is you don't want to call a customer unless you know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I let her know it was never on the quote that I emailed to you. I was very gentle about it because that's a bummer. She had a brand new car. I can only imagine what the windshield is going to cost her. But that you get what you pay for, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't need that coverage. Well, hopefully you never need that coverage. Oh, no. I'm going to think about life insurance after I have children. So this goes back to I'm single. I don't have any kids. No one's depending on me. And that's okay. But if we are doing an insurance policy where you can put money in and then later on in life, you can borrow back for maybe a down payment on a home, donate to a charity, Maybe someday you're no longer single, or now you have kids, or maybe you adopted kids, right? So just because something isn't one way now doesn't mean it will always be that way. And again, like once you pick the fruit, it doesn't get better in most cases, right? We only get older. So those premiums will be higher, and we are one diagnosis away from being ineligible. Oh, can't you just text me a price? I've gotten this one. Can't you just ballpark that? Can't you just text it to me? I mean, one, no, I don't ballpark quotes. I don't ballpark at all. I want your VIN, your coverages, your driver's license number. I am happy to put the work in for you, but I am not going to do it halfway. I am not going to put in my full energy for a half-done product. It's not going to happen. So if someone asks you that, the easy answer with this is, that's not how insurance works. We don't ballpark. There's no such thing as a ballpark. Insurance premiums, quotes, estimates are as individual as a fingerprint. How long have you owned your car? How far do you drive? What's your zip code? How many people live in your house? Not just accidents or tickets. It's a lot of other factors. So I would say this is a hard no.
I do have a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're told that we're supposed to be doing like quick quotes. You know, sometimes if they don't answer the phone, we text them and then they go like, okay, can you just send it to me? And then I just, do a quick quote and send. That's why I'm just not getting.
If that's how your agency is succeeding, I don't want to be the one to throw you off or tell you otherwise. It's just that when you send things over like that, it's like casting a wide net. You might get some sales, but are the numbers accurate, or do they change a lot?
I mean, sometimes they change. It's just we're trying to get as much quotes as we can, so that way we could get some sales and stuff like that. I mean, obviously we end up talking to them if they're really interested. They like the price. Some people, they're like, okay, yeah, I like the price. And then we would talk to them, and then a little change here and there. Maybe they want roadside added or something like that. But it's basic quote. And then for we're in Michigan, so we do PIP, and we usually do qualified health, qualified health letter or something like that. Yeah.
Will you remind me your name?
Tia.
Tia, thank you for that. Will you remind me, are you at a broker or a captive agency?
Captive.
That's going to be the difference. So captive, they do have to operate differently. If a broker tried to do like a soft quote, in our systems, it's not going to work because the systems are going to look at 40 carriers. But if you've got one carrier or one carrier with, it'll come to me. If your agency is successful in that and it works that way, captive agency, absolutely. I get flyers in the mail, soft quote kind of thing. So if it's working, it's working. It's just not something, you're just not going to get solid numbers. But if it gets them on the phone.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I would think of that like the soft quote. That's more of like a lead gen to get their interest, to get them in. But if it works, it works. Okay. I don't want my escrow payment going up. When would the escrow payment go up? And why would this even be an objection? Do we know?
I've only seen it go up when the homeowner's insurance itself increased.
There is another way that it would go up. So if they are self-paying, they own the home and they traditionally self-pay, the time when they would say, I don't want my escrow payment to go up, would be when you offer to send the invoice to escrow. So I have found this becomes a whole conversation. So before I ask them, would you like me to, or we will, or would you like me to, I will first say, one, do we have a mortgage? And two, is it an escrow? So 2 separate questions, and it helps reduce any confusion. But you're right. If your premium increases, your escrow payment will go up because escrow will include taxes, your mortgage, and then your insurance traditionally. But insurance is optional. You don't have to do that. If someone says, let's say you just called them and they're like, you know what? I'm busy. I'm feeding the kids. I do not have time to do this. How would we respond to this?
I totally get that you don't have time for this. It only takes a couple of minutes to just verify the information. I can just verify that information for you, shoot this over to an email, and then, hey, let's schedule up a follow-up call. Does so-and-so time work for you tomorrow?
Yeah, just to recap what CJ said, that is right on point. I get it. I don't want to interrupt your dinner. Just want to make sure you have everything you need. Are we still living at blah, blah, blah? I'm going to go ahead and shoot you an email and we can pick up on this tomorrow. Yeah. Because again, we want to be considerate of their time too, but we don't want to lose the lead because if it is a purchase lead, remember other agents are going to be calling them too. If someone calls in and says, just give me the cheapest one.
Cheaper is not always better. Do you have $1,000 to pay out if you were to get into a crash?
I can give you a cheap, but you're not going to be happy with me at claim time. Some of the biggest things are going to be your deductibles. If they want cheap, you can raise your deductibles. Absolutely. Do we have $2,500 in the bank? You got it. I'll do it. Happy to do it. But if they're wanting the lowest liability, that's going to come with a conversation because I'm not about to put anyone in that kind of pickle. I just don't want to do that. Can you remove everything optional? Absolutely. Yes, I can. There will be signature forms that come with it. So always make sure that you're getting your signature forms. When you send the email with the estimate in it, recap. You asked for no roadside, no car rental. Just a quick reminder, we honor that, but there will be a signature form. You know, I just don't want to answer all these questions. Perfect. Is there a better time I can give you a call? Because again, you can run blind quotes. You can. But what were you saying, CJ?
I usually, if they're like, yeah, I don't have time right now to answer all these questions, I was like, hey, how does tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. work for you?
Yeah.
Which of those 2 times work for you?
Perfect. Give the 2-time option. Another thing would be, no worries. I'll send you a quick email. We can go from there. I want to do more research. It's valid. I want to do more research, but I put it in the category of I'm just shopping. And again, no one just shops. Another thing we can do with this one is realize maybe they have more questions. So we can ask more questions. What is it that we're researching? What is it we want to look into? And the reason for that is because you have access to all the systems to answer any questions. We got it. We got it. Okay, my favorite one. It's too expensive.
I totally get that it's too expensive, but hey, look, we talked about increasing those limits for you, getting you better coverage in place, and this is what you said you needed.
Can you imagine if you got into an accident and you didn't have these coverages? How expensive would that be? I mean, this is where I would have that heart to heart with my policyholder. It's not that we're trying to sell them garbage, give them super cheap stuff just to get the sale. If someone tells me the next level up, the 5,100 is too expensive, I'm just going to have a real conversation with them. Back in 2020, the average medical bill for an auto accident was $30,000. And that came straight from the top. I don't even know what it is now. Can't
75K, I think.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See? Yeah. I can't imagine somebody suing you for $100,000. Okay. If someone says this policy is so complicated, It is because we did not do our due diligence in explaining the coverages. It means we need to go back and break it down. Comprehensive and collision, those two coverages are a big one. They're ones that we have to go over every call. A lot of people will call in, they'll say, I need full coverage. What does that mean? There is no such thing as full coverage. No such thing. Okay, you can try to pack the blind spots, you can try to fill the holes, but there is no such thing. What they're talking about is comprehensive and collision. And for comp and collision, this is how I say it. I think of comp and collision like brothers. Comprehensive is the good kid. He's minding his own business, but things happen to him. Deer, tree, hailstorm, the car was stolen. Collision, on the other hand, doesn't mind anyone's business, and he's causing things to happen, running into trees and mailboxes and other guys. But either way, your car needs to be fixed. Your deductible is how much you pay out of pocket. The company picks up the rest. Is that what you mean? Yeah, this policy is so complicated. It's that we complicate it. So if you get this, just remember, take a step back, try to bring it back down. The doggy bit me, right? Liability.
Oh, excuse me, Mary. Hi, this is Allison. I like that example you just gave. Can you repeat that again, please?
For comp and collision?
And collision, the brothers.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
of course, I think of comprehensive and collision like brothers. Comprehensive is the good kid. He minds his own business, but things happen to him. Deer, tree, hailstorm, the car was stolen, but it wasn't his fault. Collision, on the other hand, isn't minding anyone's business. He's causing things to happen, running into trees, mailboxes, the other guy. Either way, your car needs to be fixed. Your deductible is how much you pay out. The company picks up the rest. It's also in my book, The Scroll of Protection. There we go. Okay, why did my rates go up when I haven't had any accidents? This goes back to the cost of eggs. My grandmother would be screaming about the cost of eggs. The cost of everything goes up, right? So as cars get older, more likely to be totaled out rather than repaired. Why do our rates go up when we haven't had any accidents? It's because the cost of everything goes up. Any variation thereof, you can break it down to your policyholder, but when a rate increases, traditionally it's going to be at renewal. So if we need to have another power hour just about rate increases, we can certainly do that. Oh, we're down to nothing. Okay, I don't want my credit pulled. I have heard this time and time again, and the response to this is, in order for me to run reports, it is considered a consumer credit. It'll take a point or two, and it'll be on your credit for a day or two, but it's nothing that would stop you from getting a loan. When you are shopping for insurance, it is understood that we will run a consumer credit. If they have a problem with that, they can stay with their current carrier. But once you explain it to people, this is normal, then usually they're fine with it. Oh, we're lopsided now. My work-life insurance is enough. Now, as we have discussed before, work-life insurance is amazing. Keep it as long as you're there. Don't cancel that bad boy. Keep that thing. But if you leave, or if you're disabled and no longer employed, that work-life insurance does not go with you. If it does go with you, it's because you had to sort something out with the life insurance company and your premium is probably 2 or 3 times the price because your work was getting a group rate. So if you are writing a life insurance policy, please let them know. Don't get rid of your work life insurance policy. Hold on to that. Also, if they say work life insurance is enough, well, it might be enough right now, but are you going to work? Are you dying at your desk? If you're dying at your desk, proceed, but we don't want that, right? I'm just too busy right now. This is where We're going to say, no worries. Can I confirm some information? Can I get an email over? Can we talk tomorrow? Is 10 or 2 better? Whew, I can't believe I wasn't sure if we were going to make it all the way through overcoming objections today, but we did it. Roughly, how many leads are you talking to and how many quotes are you running a day? So, I mean, mine varies. Some days the phone rings off the hook. We have 4 salespeople in our office, but we're also writing like $500,000 a month. I mean, it varies a lot. If we have only 1 or 2 people in the office at a time, I mean, I might take 10 or 15 calls. Most of what we get, because people go directly to our website. CJ might be a better one to ask this one for, but most of what we get is just going to be through our pipeline directly from the website. There were times I was answering like 100 calls a day at corporate, all day, every day. CJ, how many are you getting?
So I get 2 a day. They come usually in right at the time. But my thing is, I can't quote them until I talk to them on the phone. I actually had one person like, hey, and she's up here in Alexandria. She's like, look, I'm doing court stuff. Can you just verify my information? And then because I'm so busy, let's put a date on the calendar next week. So I was like, okay, cool. I can do that for you. Yeah. Confirmed all your information, send it over, and we have an appointment next week.
Beautiful. See, and you don't need 100 if you just get a couple of good ones. That's awesome.
And I have access to the lead system to, like, if I know it's a bad one, I can go into the system where they send it to us, where I can see it, and I can return it.
Tia, how many are you getting?
I mean, we get incoming calls, and then we have warm leads also. So, she buys leads for me, so I talk to like 2 people. But the thing is, I see the other agents like quoting like 10 people a day, and I'm quoting like 3, 4. And I'm just wondering, like, how many people am I supposed to be talking to in order to like get there?
So they're talking to like 10, but you only talking to 3 or 4. Is that the inbound phone calls that they're just getting to faster?
I think they're doing more of warm leads. They're calling like hundreds a day, so that way they could be quoting.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like how many people do I have to talk to, like, or even like text, because we do call logic, and basically it's just repeat. The calls are just going, and whoever answers.
Okay. Are they doing side-by-sides with you in the office?
What do you mean? Oh, no, I'm not in the office. I'm
home.
Yeah, promote.
Yes.
And that's what it is. It's just very hard because I started remote, and I just had someone help me out for like a week, and then it was just, all by myself. But honestly, this right here is helping me a lot. Like I join every week, as you know, and it's just like something that keeps me going.
Yay. I'm glad you're here. We're glad you're here.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Tia, the same thing happened to me. I got licensed. I was supposed to be at the corporate office. And then quite literally COVID happened a week later. I mean, we were all sent home with our laptops, and I was like, man, I can't even hear what the tops. Normally I would say, go sit next to the top salesperson and, absorb everything they have. But I didn't get that either, so I had to make it up. Actually, speaking of not getting access to phone calls and things like that, let me do a quick share before we close. So we just updated the website. We sort of touched on it on our outbound email this weekend, but the official email will go out tomorrow or Friday anyway. We have put together the boot camp. So this is for personal lines agents, either new or those that need a refresher. Maybe they're just struggling on the sales side. The purpose behind this is really to break down the elephant. I've got the schedule here. This will be a 2-day boot camp. We will start bright and early. I'll let you have lunch. There's not going to be any yelling or whistleblowing, but these are going to be the most important things that we wish we had, the training we wish we had. So it will be recorded. All tickets get the recording. I want you to be able to succeed from the get-go. So we'll get these emails out for you. But again, it's the training I wish I had. We are not only updating the game room, but we will also update the playbook. So CJ, hold on to your classic copy.
I actually want to ask CJ, like, how long has he been in the industry, and how did he get so good? Like, he's very engaged, which I really like.
3 years and going strong. It's just constant repetition. You're doing the same thing every day. Basically, it's a constant repetition of everything, and it's just getting so confident, because your confidence echoes across the phone line as well. So those clients do know, and they can sense it.
Well, and CJ, you joined us right after the pass.
Mm-hmm.
I think you were at every sales class, almost every power hour. Yeah.
I'll be at the boot camp too. And that's because I'm seasoned, and I was like, one of the things I've learned is get 1% better every day.
Yeah. Eventually.
Be uncomfortable to get you. In order to be comfortable, you got to be uncomfortable.
I love that. No, I definitely see a big difference. I started, I think, like 3 months ago, and I'm definitely more confident. I'm ready to talk, So I definitely see improvement.
And it's okay to say no. If a client asks you something that you don't know the answer to, like, hey, look, I'll research it and I'll get right back to you. And I literally will like dig into systems, and I will ask around, and then I will get my answer. And then like, you're calling me back that quick? I was like, yep, it's the kind of agent I am.
And CJ, thank you for just coming back and helping our new agents. And you're amazing, truly. CJ is our constant. Joshua's here a lot too. Holy bananas. So, but I really love playing these games. CJ, we haven't done a mock sales call in a while. And let us know if you have any questions, but it's good to see you. And I hope everybody has a good week.
Thank you. See you guys next week.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laters.